Welcome to the ACC Game Day, the Speaking Deacon Show, Week 3 on a Saturday morning. If you're watching this, recording this on a Saturday morning. I had one yesterday, so let's get with the what's going on in the ACC football today. Got a lot of games, so let's bring you up to date on some top 25 action from yesterday. It was number 14 Kansas State defeating number 20 Arizona 31-7 last night. And we are here on a Saturday for ACC football. And those of you who are looking forward to the games, I will let you know who's where and where they're going to play at. So let's start with the noon games. Memphis at Florida State. Memphis at Florida State. That ought to be a pretty good matchup. I haven't even brought up the games for the yet, so let me just draw it up here. Um, I'll give you a rundown on all the games that's going to be played on the ACC weekly release. So actually, Memphis at Florida State at noon. The series, Florida State leads that series 10-7-1 the last meeting. Florida State won 35-3. That was in 1990. That was a long time ago. So the odds on that game, let me pull the odds up on it. If you want to know the odds, this is actually 6.5, but the 53.5 over and under for that game. And then we have the Louisiana Tech at North Carolina State. That's also at 12 noon. And by the way, the Memphis Florida State game will be played on ESPN. Louisiana Tech at North Carolina State at 12 o'clock on the ACC network. Series, North Carolina State leads 2-0. The last meeting was in 2021 when State won that one 34-27. 34-27. And then we'll go to Boston College at Missouri. Number 24, Boston College. We'll be at number 6, Missouri. 12:45 p.m. on this SECN network. Go over to that station. Boston College leads the series 1-0. Last meeting, Boston College 41-34 in 2021. Then we got the backyard brawl. West Virginia at Pitt. Series. Pitt leads the series 62-41-3. Last meeting, West Virginia was won 17-6. So let's back up to the spreads. Louisiana Tech at North Carolina State. State's a minus 21 favorite. Over under 49.5. Boston College. And Missouri. Missouri is 16.5 point favorite with the over under 53.5. West Virginia at Pitt. Pitt, well, actually, West Virginia is now a 1.5 point favorite. There was a 2.5, but that's somehow that has changed. And the over and under in that one is 63.5. So the favorite in that one is West Virginia. And then we have, Pitt leads that series actually 62-41-3. And I think I told you West Virginia won the last meeting 17-6. So let's go into Ball State at number 10 Miami. This is the first meeting between the two. So, but Miami is a heavy favorite in that one by 36.5, with the over and under 55.5. The Ball State Miami game will be played at 3:30 p.m. on ACC Network. The West Virginia Pitt game will be also at 3:30 on the ESPN or ESPN2. Then we come to VMI at Georgia Tech. The series, Georgia Tech leads that series 14-1. The last meeting, Georgia Tech 34-7. The odds on that one is is Georgia Tech is heavy favorites in that one. I thought I had that down here, but I don't have it. But I can look it up here on the ESPN. Somehow or another, I missed putting that down on my paper. Well, that's okay. According to ESPN, the spread is uh, 43. They're favor of 43. The total over and under is 56.5. So, and that game will be played on 3:30 on the ACC Extra. Uh, then we got then we got North Carolina Central at North Carolina. That's also a first meeting, but North Carolina is heavy favorite in that game. They are a 37.5 point favorite. Total over and under 55.5. Then we have UConn at Duke. The spread is Duke's a 16.5 point favorite. Total over and under 46.5. Then we come down to that game is at 6 o'clock. Both games, UConn Duke. That'll be on the ESPN. ACC Extra. North Carolina at 6 will be on the ESPN Plus and ACC Extra. Now let's go down to Virginia Tech at Old Dominion. That is they got that spread at 16.5 in favor of Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a 16.5. Total over and under is 47.5. Then we'll go down to Ole Miss at Wake Forest. That's a terrifying game according to SVP. But the line stays at around 21.5 in favor of Ole Miss. The over and under 64.5. Ole Miss at Wake Forest. Wake Forest lost their last game, 31-30 over Virginia. A game that they should have won and needed, but they didn't have. Then we have Maryland at Virginia. Maryland leads that series 45-32-2. Last meeting, Maryland won 42-14. So I don't really expect any more, any less. I expect for it to be somewhere around that area. But uh, but they have the odds closer this time than they normally have. It's the 2.5, according to what I had. And we'll see if it's changed. What did I say? It has went down. It went from 2.5 down to 1, but still Maryland is favored slightly with a total of 57.5. They expect that to be a high scoring game, I guess. Then we come down to the nightcapper. That game's at 8 o'clock, by the way, on the ACC network. That'll be a pretty good game. The CW network will carry the Ole Miss Wake Forest game. San Diego State at California. California is at 16.5. 47.5 over and under. Let's see if it's changed. Yes, it went up to about 1. It's 17.5 now, with the over and under 47.5 still. So it's only changed to 1 up in favor of California. So 16.5 is 17.5 now. So that's so that'll do it for the games in the ACC. So let's just tell you the series with the San Diego State at California. That series is tied 4-4 with the last meeting. San Diego State winning that game 45-40. That was in 2016. Maryland. I told you about the Maryland. Which one? Did I skip any? I did skip the UConn. Uh, uh, at Duke. So UConn leads that series 2-1. The last meeting, Duke won 41-7 last year. So standings, this is week 3, so standings doesn't mean much. But as far as the ACC conference, you got Boston College, Syracuse, Virginia, Georgia Tech, right up there at the top, and you got Wake Forest and Florida State at the bottom. So and all the other teams are right in between right now. So we still a long ways to go. A long ways to go in the season right now. So I just wanted to update you. I wanted to bring in. This is something new I'm going to do from time to time. The ACC football game day. Because whether I do it every week, I don't know. I'll give you some tips. So don't forget that the game between Wake Forest and Ole Miss is tonight. I am the Speaking Deacon show, David Lawson, and you'll see this on various networks, on X, Twitter, Facebook. Mostly on YouTube is where I'm going to post it. And my goodness, we got a long ways to go in the football season, so a lot of things can happen. And I've already made my picks. So if you haven't seen my picks, go and, by the way, look at it. But I'll go ahead and tell you what my picks are for today. Week 3, I'm picking FSU. If you don't know what FSU is, that's Florida State to beat Memphis State. North Carolina State to beat Louisiana Tech. Missouri to beat Boston College. Miami over Ball State I'm picking. West Virginia to beat Pitt. Georgia Tech over VMI. Duke over UConn. Virginia Tech over Old Dominion. Uh, North Carolina over North Carolina Central. Ole Miss to beat Wake Forest, and Maryland to beat Virginia, and Cal to beat San Diego State. Open dates today. No, these are the teams that aren't playing. Clemson, Louisville, SMU, Stanford, and Syracuse. They all have byes this week. So don't look for these teams to be playing until next week. So they're off today. So they'll be scouting the other teams for their team. They'll be looking at these other teams to see who if they get an advantage. So this is David Lawson from the Speaking Deacon Show, ACC Game Day. Hope you enjoy your games, and may God bless you.